Hey guys, so we have a speed and camera comparison here between the Xperia XZ1 Compact and the iPhone 8 Plus. So real quick, before we start, we just hit 40k subscribers and thank you very much for all you guys' support. Gonna keep on improving the quality of these videos as we keep on growing. And of course, the main focus of this channel is phones that are not that popular but excellent phones like the Sony Xperia XZ1 Compact. So hopefully as we keep growing, these phones get the attention that they deserve. Alright guys, let's go ahead and power both phones on at the same time. Now, the main focus of this video is of course speed, but we have a lot of other stuff planned as well. And that includes front and rear facing camera comparisons, speaker comparisons, and more. And both these phones, excellent quality speakers on them. As you guys see, iPhone first one to boot up. Very fast boot up time there for the iPhone. And the Sony app as well. Alright guys, so we have a lot of testing planned for this video, and next up let's go over the specs. Now, the Sony screen is 4.6 inches, 720p. And the iPhone is 5.5 inches 1080p. We'll be showing you guys a front-facing camera comparison later in the video. On the Sony is 8MP and on the iPhone is 7MP. And on the back, the Sony has one camera at 19MP and the iPhone has two cameras, both of them are 12MP. The second camera on the iPhone is used for zoom, and we'll be showing you guys a comparison of that as well later in the video. The Sony has 32GB internal storage and micro SD card support, while on the iPhone here is 64, 256 and no micro SD card support. On the Sony, you have a slightly larger battery at 2700, and on the iPhone, 2675. On the Sony, you have the Snapdragon 35 and 4GB of RAM, and on the iPhone, you have the A11 chipset and 3GB of RAM. Both phones are waterproof, although slightly higher certification on the Sony. IP68 versus IP67. Now at the bottom, you guys see a Lightning port on the iPhone and USB Type-C on the Sony. And it's looking around the edges here. And you do have a headphone jack on the Sony, but not on the iPhone. Now the iPhone design is clearly more premium feeling. On the iPhone you have a glass back, and on the Sony it's plastic. And it's a closer look at that. Alright guys, so excellent specs on both phones, and let's continue now with the rest of the test. Alright guys, so next up we have the apps and games opening. All the apps goes out on both phones, and I'm going to get started with NBC. And this one going to the Sony. Spotify. Sony right there. iFunny next. And the only reason I'm pressing down hard, guys, is to try to sync the timing of them. Just try to hit them both at the same time. Photos. And this one going to the iPhone. YouTube. Sony off to a very strong start. eBay next. And once again we have the Sony here. And final app here is Amazon Shopping. Then we have 4 different games, including Newcomer. Wow guys, yeah, Sony doing an amazing job so far. And Modern Combat. This one always extremely fast forwarding up on the iPhone. Fast forwarding through this part. And as you guys see, no exception here, the iPhone winning this one. Temperanto. And looking like iPhone here as well. So iPhone doing very well with the games, winning 2-4 so far. And here's that Newcomer Mario Run. And this one going to the Sony. Final game in Asphalt 8. And again, we have the Sony here, so the apps, so the games are pretty split going 2-2. Next up, let's take a look at them to-do. And as you guys see, extremely impressive score on the iPhone, 209,000 versus 158. Although a lot of people say that to-do is better optimized for iOS than Android. Next up, we have the camera app. So pretty close on both phones. I'm going to be showing you guys the front and rear facing camera comparison later in the video. It's going to be after the multitasking portion. Volcano Trap royalty-free music. Next up, we have a speaker quality test. And both these phones, dual speakers on them. Sony. Now for the iPhone. Back to Sony. And one last time on the iPhone. Alright guys, so let me know in the comment section what you think of the quality. Now obviously the Sony does get, or rather the iPhone does get a lot better than the Sony. Although I think the Sony may be a bit better quality, although on the iPhone you do have a better base on it. But again, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Next up we have Chrome and clearing out the web history on both phones. And closing out, going back in. Now we have 4 different sites, and the first one is IGN. And this one going to the Sony, IMDb.com next. IMDb. And again, we have, I think that was a Sony. If I'm wrong, they'll write a comment down below. So we have 2 more, Sony and Apple. Sony.com. And Sony taking this one, so final one is Apple. And ironically, Sony winning this one, so Sony winning 3 out of the 4. And actually guys, just remember that a lot of you want to see Safari on iOS rather than doing Chrome for that. So again, clearing out the web history on both. And there's a couple of sites, let's do Sony. And a bit faster here on Chrome on the Android. And one more is Apple. In the future guys, I'll just do, as you guys see Sony there as well, I'll just use Safari rather than Chrome in the future. And now we're going to test out the fingerprint scanner on both phones. Again, on the Sony, it's right here on the side. And on the iPhone, ideal placement right here. Alright, so the Sony looks a bit faster here. Yep, this one pretty clearly going to the Sony. Alright guys, so we have camera comparisons after this, but before that multitasking. Temper on 2, X1 here on both phones. Another top one here in Asphalt 8. Again, very good here on both phones, and this one goes to the Sony. Originally showing a picture there on the iPhone. Trying out Super Mario Run. Again, X1 here on both phones. Going back into Chrome. And next up we have the camera app. So the Sony there. And going back towards the beginning with iFunny. YouTube next. And oops, actually clicked on the wrong one there, guys. And YouTube does automatically refresh on Android to show you guys the latest results. Spotify. I think that one was the iPhone. Amazon Shopping, X1 here on both phones. And what's the one final one? Mono Combat. Alright, so reconnecting on both phones, X1 sign here. And this one going to the Sony. Camera speed next, going to bring in Yarn Yoshi for this. Now we'll be showing you guys front and rear facing camera comparisons in a second here. Right after this speed test. Moving Yoshi a bit back. Okay, so for the most part I think it looks pretty mixed here. Sometimes the Sony, sometimes the iPhone. As you guys see right there. Yeah, very mixed here. Alright guys, there's a quick comparison of the front cameras on both phones. And it doesn't have the image stabilization. Alright guys, there's a quick comparison of the front cameras on both phones. And it doesn't have the image stabilization. And a quick comparison of the rear facing cameras. Filming this in Queens, New York, and across the water there's Manhattan.
Yeah, I don't need to jump this on.
And it doesn't have stabilization. And here's a look at the maximum zoom. Again, the second camera on the iPhone is used for zoom. Alright guys, so let me know in the comment section below which phone you think won. Now the Sony clearly won in terms of speed, but in terms of camera and speakers, definitely more mixed there. Now that said, we still have more testing to do between these two phones, more in-depth camera tests, battery tests especially, and more. And of course comparisons versus upcoming phones like the iPhone X. Now if this is your guys' first time on the channel, you can press the button in the middle there to subscribe. We're going for 50k now, so you guys can help us reach that milestone. Or if you want to watch another video right now, you can press in the top left corner. And as always, thanks for watching.